on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with another 3 looks video. I feel like I have been doing 3 looks videos out the ass recently, but I don't really mind because they're a lot of fun and it's to be expected this time of year because there are a lot of new launches and obviously people want to see looks with the new launches. So that's what we're doing. Today we are going to be playing with the new Urban Decay On The Run palettes. There are 3 of them. Basically, these are kind of like a spin-off of their Born to Run palette, which, by the way, still hands down my favorite palette of 2018. They're 8-pan palettes and they are $25 each, and each one kind of has a color scheme. So this one, which is the DETOUR palette, is the more teal one of the bunch. And then there's BAILOUT, which is more of like a mauve purple. And then we have Shortcut, which has a lot of pinks and reds and some neutrals. So I figured it would be good for you guys to see a look with each one. That way, if you kind of have your eyes on these palettes as a concept, but you're not sure which one or which ones you want out of the bunch, then maybe it'll help you narrow it down. Or if you happen to buy all 3, you'll get ideas. I just figured that was a good way to go about it. We've got looks to get to today, so I won't keep us here in the intro too long, but if you don't mind taking a second, I would absolutely appreciate it if you leave a thumbs up on this video because that helps me tremendously. And also, if you are new here, I would be just chuffed if you would subscribe, because that means you can stick around for more videos and I would love to have you here for that. We're gonna start with the DETOUR palette today, so without wasting any more of your precious time, let's just get started on the first look. For the first look, I'm going to use the DETOUR palette. These are the shades on the inside. We have a bunch of neutrals here, a lovely, lovely pop of shimmer, and 2 shimmers that are more tealish. This one here is a regular eyeshadow, and this one here is a transformer, so it's meant to be popped over the top of other shades. I have like too much dry shampoo in my hair right now, and it's making the top look like I have a gray streak. Oh, over there too, I have a gray streak. It's like a little Stacey London moment though. To start the look, I'm gonna go into the shade DETOUR on a MAC 217 brush, and I'm gonna pack that in my crease and then blend it up and up and up and up and out. Once the color's packed down, I'm just gonna go over the edge of that with a clean brush to blend it. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Confidential on a MAC 221S brush, and we're going to start building up a little bit of depth in the crease. And I'm also going to switch brushes to a pencil brush in a second and then pack it down on the end of the eyelid just to create some depth on the end of the eyelid too before we put down any shimmers. I'm gonna pick up a MAC 220S brush, which has kind of become my favorite tiny little brush for packing down color on my lid. And I'm gonna go into the shade Plunge here, which kind of reminds me a little bit of like a deeper version of Deep End, which is one of my favorite Urban Decay shadows. And I'm gonna pack that onto this brush, and I'm gonna wet it with some setting spray. I know already that when I use most shimmers from Urban Decay that I prefer them to be wet. So that's what we're gonna do. That color is fire. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, no shit, Nicole. You love those tealy turquoise shades every time without fail. You're right, I do. You know, I wasn't gonna do this, but now I feel like I kind of need to. Like, I feel like this look needs it. So I'm gonna cut the crease. I think I'm gonna do a half cut crease. I'm gonna use my NABLA cut crease brush again and my Kat Von D white out brow pomade, and I'm just going to cut a little section right there just because, I don't know, I'm not really loving how these 2 colors are transitioning into each other, and there's not a deeper color to like deepen up my crease in this palette and blend them together more nicely. So I'm gonna cut the crease to like give it a more, like a look that makes more sense. This is not normally how I create a cut crease, nor do I recommend you do it this way, but that is just how it seemed to work out today. Blend that down a little bit. I'm gonna pack that color over that white. Next, I'm going to dip into the shade Switchback, which is that Transformer shade. I'm going to use it on the same brush. I just wiped it off on a color switch, and I'm going to dip into that and then pat it over the center of that darker teal. And I'm going to see, because it's a Transformer, if I like it without wetting it, and if not, then we'll just wet it with some setting spray and go back in. It's actually so pretty without wetting it. Like so pretty that I'm not gonna go back in and wet it because I don't even want to ruin the effect. I think the effect is pretty glorious. Okay, so now that we have a little half cut crease, it just kind of like doesn't really fade into a dark shade over here, but that's okay because we're gonna actually balance that side out with a nice thick wing today. I'm gonna go ahead and use the NABLA Serial Liner again. A few of you guys asked me for an update on what I thought of it. So far, the applicator is top-notch, primo, absolutely fantastic, but I don't think it's the most long-wearing of my waterproof liners. It definitely has a tendency, like if your eyes get a little bit watery, to move a bit. So it's not the most budge-proof, but I love the applicator. I actually really like the different kind of a shape we've got going on here. The way that the shimmer kind of just ends before the wing. I'm digging it. It's a little bit something different and a little bit interesting. I'm always here for that, but I feel like it's missing a little something. Also, pardon me for having a lozenge in my mouth. Lozenge is the nerdiest word in the world, by the way, but I'm starting to get a cold and I don't want to hack up a lung in your ear. So I'm going to take the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the color Gamma Ray, which is like right in the same color family as this shadow. I'm going to trace it along the top of the crease line. And I'm going to let that fade off into that brown as well. I did my concealer, added a big old buttload of powder. I'm going to go into the shade Escape. I'm going to run that under my entire lower lash line. Okay, I put on the House of Lashes iconic light lashes, and I put a nude pencil through my waterline. I used the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Walk of Shame. If you saw my NABLA holiday collection video, you're gonna laugh because I said that this was my least favorite color in that bunch. If you haven't seen that video yet, you click up here on the screen if you wanna go watch that. Don't forget to pause this though and come back. But I'm going to use the Vivid Velvet lip kit from that collection. I feel like this look can really benefit from like a crisp, bright matte lip. Now, of course, if you wanted to make this a little bit more day-to-day wearable, you could obviously go ahead and pair this with like a really simple nude, a simple gloss, whatever you wanted. But for the sake of like, you know, making it a look, I'm gonna go in with this bright magenta matte shade. And this is the first look using the DETOUR palette. You know what? I was wrong. I fucking love this lipstick. Look at me, learning things about myself. Wow, okay, on to the next look. For the second look, I am going into the Bailout palette, which is the purple one in the bunch. On the inside, she looks like this. I'm gonna pick up my MAC 217 brush and go into the namesake of the palette, the shade Bailout here. Nice matte tan sort of a shade, and we're gonna start pushing that into the crease area and blending it upward. I'm picking up a BH number 8 brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Faith. I'm gonna pack that over my whole lid, just bringing it right up into the crease. On a MAC 221S, I'm gonna go into the shade Rebound, which is that dark brown matte, and I'm gonna deepen the outer portion of the lid and also the outer portion of the crease. This shade Pickup here looks like an absolute delight. So I'm going to pack that on my inner corner because I think it's fun to have like a fully matte eye on the top and then a little bit of a punch of something real bright in the inner corner. It's always a good time. So I'm gonna pick up on an e.l.f. pencil brush, and I'm just going to, I'm going to spray my setting spray in the direction of the camera rather than my brush. Pardon me. And I'm just going to pack that onto my inner corner. That color is so nice. I feel like I'm overdoing the winged liner thing today, but that's where my head is at, so that's what we're doing. I'm going to go into the Suva Beauty Hydro Liner in the shade Grape Soda. These are water activated, so I'm just gonna spray a little bit of setting spray in there to activate the product. I'm gonna create I don't know how thick I'm gonna go with the wing, but we'll see. We'll see where the wind takes us. Gonna go through my waterline with the color Delinquent, the 24/7 pencil from Urban Decay. I swear to God, I thought for a second this was called Demonetized. I spend way too much time on YouTube. But this is a nice like shimmery purple shade. I think it'll kind of be a good complement to everything else we've got going on here. So I'm just gonna run that through my waterline. I still have a little bit of the other nude shade in there, but this should cover right over it because these are super pigmented. I'm gonna go into this shade Vice on a pencil brush, and I am going to smoke out my lower lash line with that shade. I'm thinking that I might go a little bit low with the smoke, but I haven't decided yet. I wanna see how it looks with the top half, like once I start applying it. So I'm gonna take it little by little. Now, because I'm like a little bit worried that this is sort of boring, because I don't know, I just don't feel like it's like that anything special. Oh, I'm dripping, I'm dripping. I want to add like at least one little element of like something different and interesting. So I'm going to use the color that we used for the upstairs liner, I called it. Oh my God, I need to go to bed. For the top liner, I used the color Grape Soda from Suva Beauty, and I'm going to go into this on the same brush, and I'm gonna paint it on my lower lashes as mascara. Okay, because I'm kind of feeling like this looks pretty cool, I am going to blend that purple a little bit past the winged liner. It almost kind of looks like a shadow then under the liner, and I think that adds so much more something interesting to this look. I'm just gonna keep building the purple like around the lash line with a smaller brush and then blending it out to achieve that. I'm just gonna go back into the top portion and just kind of connect that crease there with the end of the wing, because it just felt like it wasn't, the shape wasn't flowing, you know? Okay, I put on the same House of Lashes iconic lights. I also added some freckles to my cheeks because whenever I feel like I don't think that my look is really coming together for some reason, I feel like freckles complete everything. To be honest with you, now that the lashes are on and I have some freckles and I extended that smoked out wing on the bottom, I'm pretty happy with it. We're gonna use the Romanticized Lip Kit from NABLA. This is kind of like a dusty mauve, which I think will be pretty with this. And this is the second look using the Bailout palette. All right, for the third and final look with the third and final palette, we're going to be using Shortcut, which is more of the red tones. And I think I'm gonna go for like a pinky, reddy halo type of an eye. So I'm gonna start with the shade Shortcut on a MAC 217 brush, and I'm gonna pack that through my crease. So far, I love that shade because it's like a neutral, but it has just enough pink in it to make it be pinky looking still, even on the skin. A lot of times when you get like one of these mauve-y shades, they look mauve in the pan, and then when you put them on and start to blend them, they just look like brown or gray. But this actually looks mauve on my skin, which is an exciting start. Next, I'm going to go through the crease and on the inner and outer corner of the eye with the shade Rendezvous. It's like a deep, deep burgundy kind of a shade. Next, I'm going to pick up a flat brush. This is from Alamar Cosmetics, and I'm going to go into the shade Gash. And I'm going to dampen that with some setting spray and place it right in the center of the lid. So Gash is a color that they've actually had in the past before, but I believe for a period of time it was discontinued, at least as an eyeshadow. I know there's a Gash eyeliner and there was a Gash lipstick at one point. Personally, I'm a big fan of it as an eyeshadow. I love like these like burnt plummy red type shades. Next, I'm gonna go into the shade Zone. This is the most metallic-y one in the bunch, and I'm gonna take that on just this little random flat brush. I concealed underneath my eyes, powdered them a little. I also ran a red pencil through my waterline. Probably not eye safe. There are red liners that are eye safe. I just don't happen to have any around at the moment. I'm gonna go back into the color Shortcut on the same MAC 217, and I'm going to start smoking out the lower lash line as well. This color Shortcut is blending so beautifully. Like, it's so creamy and easy to blend. I really like this shade a lot. Next, I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of Rendezvous on a pencil brush. And I'm going to run that underneath my lash line as well and connect that up into the darkness that we put on the top lid. For the inner corner, I'm gonna go back into the shade Zone on a tiny little Makeup Geek pencil brush, and I'm gonna pack that into the inner corner while wetting it just to brighten it up a bit. I put on the Stella Luxe lash and I finished up my skin, and I want to add a little bit of a detail to this. So I'm going to use the Milk Tattoo stamp in the heart shape. And like I've done many times before, I'm just going to make a little heart right here, like underneath my eye, far enough away from the lash line that you can see it, but like above where the freckles are on the cheekbone. FYI, I like these, but they stain. So if you don't want a little heart on your face for like a day and a half, maybe skip these. I want to keep the lips kind of within the same tones as well. So I'm going to use the Lime Crime Velveteen in the shade Riot. And I'm going to top it in the center with the Lime Crime Diamond Crusher in the shade Over the Rainbow. And this is the third look using the Shortcut palette. Okay, so after finishing all three looks, I'm sure you guys are wondering how I feel about these palettes. Out of the three, I think the colors in the DETOUR palette were the most fun in my opinion. But the one small hang up I had about this palette had nothing to do with the performance of the shadows. Everything worked really nicely. I just feel like there is not a deep enough shade in this palette. I wish there was a really deep brown in here or even a matte black to help deepen up the looks, because there are a few brown shades here, but none of them are actually even darker than the main shimmer color here. And I find that it makes it a little bit difficult to make a full look with it. Obviously, we managed to pull it off by doing something a little bit more different, a little bit creative, but if there was like a deep chocolate brown in this palette, I feel like it would be so much better. That being said, if you're not somebody who looks for a palette to create a full look out of, then you might just absolutely love this, because the transition shades and the mid-tone brown shades in here, I really like the tones of them. I think there's a good variety of different undertones to them. I just wish that at least one of them was darker. I love the shade Plunge because I always love these kinds of colors, so there's no real big surprise there. But the shade Switchback, which is like the topper shade or the transformer shade, whichever you like to call it, I think the two of these combined look so pretty together. They're gorgeous. The combination looks like, I don't know, it looks like ocean water. Like, it's just so pretty. But Switchback, I feel like this over like a dark black background, or even like pressed over a black liner, would be really, really gorgeous. In general, I like the tones in this palette the best out of all of them. The Bailout palette, the purple one, was really, really nice. This one actually does have a nice deep dark brown in it, which I found very helpful in creating the look. Everything blended well. Everything was as pigmented as I expected it to be. Personally, for me, I don't think this is the one that I would go to out of the three, because purple tones just usually aren't my thing. But that being said, I did enjoy the look that we got out of this, and the purple like smoked out bottom lash line I felt like was really flattering and pretty. So maybe I should be experimenting with purples a little bit more often, and I just don't, because sometimes we get stuck in our little comfort zones. But that's how I feel, and I'm gonna play with this more and try to be better. And the last palette was the Shortcut palette, which I for some reason, I wasn't that excited about this one. I think I'm just burnt out on warm tones. But after using it, in this one, I felt like the mattes almost blended like especially easily. You know, like sometimes you get a palette and you're like, yeah, these blend fine, these blend normally, and then you get other palettes and like this one blends itself. I felt like the color Shortcut was like the easiest to blend, which is so nice and like makes things so quick when you're trying to put a look together. So I loved that. I love that Gash is making a comeback in this palette because that is like an Urban Decay classic color that I absolutely used to love. It's great for like getting like a grunge sort of a rock and roll look, but you can definitely get a glam vibe with it too if you combine it with like glitter or shimmer or like even just like a winged liner or something. So love this. I think it's a really versatile color and something that I will be reaching for regularly because I haven't actually had an individual of Gash in a long time. And the shade Zone, which is also one of the Transformer shades, very pretty, and also you are able to use it as an inner corner highlight without really much underneath it, and it still gives you a pop of color even though it is designed to layer over other things. And I think out of the three, this one is like the most balanced as far as being able to get complete looks out of it. I don't think those will be replacing my Born to Run palette anytime soon because I freaking love that palette so much. But I could definitely see myself like tossing one of those in my overnight bag for like an extra pop of color or just like something that I know is going to give me an easy look and being very happy with it. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know out of those three, which of the color schemes is the most appealing to you. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that because it really helps me out and I always appreciate it so much. And also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe because I would love to have you around for more videos and I would hate to not have you around for more videos. So, you know, do with that information what you will. If you'd like to keep up with me until my next video, I am Miss Quinface on pretty much every social platform you could ever conceive of in your life. But the one that I use the absolute most is Instagram. I post on my Instagram stories a whole lot. I have been running a ton of polls over there to kind of get an idea of what you guys use in your day-to-day makeup. I hope you enjoy these three looks. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to cup your little face and kiss you on the forehead. That's all for today, and I will see you in the next one.